was overall very pleased with the way we played as a team. That's part of the game. You have to deal with that stuff sometimes. And this is the time of year you're trying to figure out what you can do, what works, right? And I was going to try to play ice with two. I did for a few minutes, somewhat successfully. Tried the same thing with Cade. Obviously, he picked up his third in the first half, so lesson learned for me. And something I got to continue to monitor because those obviously are two guys we did on the court. The other one is Caleb had 2 fouls in the first half as well. And so, we got some time for Bernie. Donovan got a little bit more playing time in the first half than probably he would have otherwise if Caleb wasn't in foul trouble. And so, we're still trying to figure out who we are. Otherwise, I thought we played a pretty balanced game. So we did a good job of sharing the basketball and taking care of it and making our free throws. 3 things that we didn't do a great job of on Wednesday night. So for this time of year, it's all about improvement. Are we getting better? I feel like we're getting better, and I think tonight's performance versus Wednesday's performance is indicative of that.
For all the analytics nerds out there, the offensive efficiency numbers were really good and the defensive efficiency numbers were good today. Do you think that, this is a game where maybe the OSU's length, on both ends of the court maybe factored in on that?
Yeah, I thought we were much more active defensively. We got a lot more deflections. The only discouraging thing I saw from the stat sheet so far is they got a lot of offensive rebounds. And several of them were not that they grabbed them, it was that we wouldn't grab them ourselves. We knocked them out of bounds. We were going after balls with one hand. And so we got to do a much better job just finishing defensive possessions with rebounds. And we'll work on that the next couple of days as we head up to Marquette.
Members of the media, if you have a question for Oklahoma State coach Mike Boynton, please click raise hand. Our first question is going to come from Robert Allen from Triple Play Sports. Go ahead, Robert.
Yes, sir, Coach. Gavin kind of talked about it early on, but it was about midway through the first half, and you were having some foul trouble with Ice and with Cade. But it was a grinding half, and you guys kind of outgrinded against a veteran team. What does that show?
Well, it's one of the things that I talked about with our guys heading into the game. They've got some really talented players. If you forget, Galen Alexander was at Georgetown a year ago, came here on the team and won. And he didn't leave Georgetown because he wasn't good enough. Michael Weathers was here at Oklahoma State 2 years ago and didn't leave because he wasn't good enough. Those guys are really high-level basketball players. And so what I told our guys is it's not just about talent. It's about who's going to be the tougher team, who's going to do the little things better than the other team. And I thought for the most part, other than defensive rebounding, we did the little things better than they did. So just some character, some growth, and that our talent certainly is ready for these type of challenges.
How pleasing was the turnover, minimizing the turnovers from the other night?
Yeah, it was really good. And I think it's a pretty good comparison because a lot of our turnovers the other day was versus zone. They played quite a bit of zone today. We did a much better job taking care of it, not turning over. Now, we still shot a few too many quick threes early in the half, but I thought we did a much better job attacking the basket and getting the ball into the paint this game.
Thanks, Coach.
Our next question comes from Jacob Unruh from the Oklahoman. Go ahead, Jacob.
Mike, during that stretch that Robert mentioned, Rondell really big during that stretch. What did you see from him in those moments?
Well, it's the same thing that I've seen from him for a long time now. That kid's a gamer. Not that he doesn't bring it in practice every day, but because he does. He actually practices pretty consistently well. And is a guy that I have a lot of confidence in. I've talked about him in the preseason as a guy that's going to have a hard time keeping him off the court because he can impact the game without making shots. And then, obviously, like you saw tonight, he can get it going. Then I think him and Cade have a little bit of chemistry. Cade might have found him a few times when he was open, and he was ready to knock him down. So I got to give credit to the kid for continuing to work hard and believe in himself and not getting down because he didn't make shots the other night. But he was able to bounce back and play with a lot of confidence today. And it started with a hustle play. He got an offensive rebound put back in the first half and made several other plays where he's just chasing down the ball, outplaying the other guys.
For you, you've recruited him a long time. Does it mean a little bit more to see a local kid debut like that in this court?
Absolutely. It's always important for me, for the kids in the state of Oklahoma, to know that this is the place that they want to play college basketball. And to see a kid like that come in and have success, to see the Boone twins have the success that they've had, knowing that we believe in those guys really early. And so we want to continue to mine the fields here in the state of Oklahoma. It's the most important state to us. And all the best players in the state of Oklahoma, we want to have an opportunity to come here. And Rondell Walker's doing a great job of us so far, and so the Boones.
You hyped up MA at times, obviously, but what about his dunk?
Yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, it's not the best one I've seen, to be honest, but it's up there. But that won't be the last time you'll see him make a play like that. He's pretty aggressive around the basket.
Awesome. Thanks, Mike.
Our next question comes from Frank Bonner from the Tulsa World. Go ahead, Frank.
Hey, Mike, when you look at what Cade did today, he had a couple of steals, a couple of blocks, and he cut down on his turnovers. What do you think about that aspect of his game from, the first game?
I'll tell you this. On Thursday morning, I usually come in and work out at 6 every morning just to get some cardio. And I guess I used to tell the story that old men work out at early in the morning. I guess I'm the old man now, but I came back up from the weight room at about 7 o'clock, and I heard a ball bouncing. 7 o'clock on Thursday, Thanksgiving Day, the day after his first college basketball game, and Cade was the one guy in the gym. And so I went there and talked to him for a little bit, and he wasn't pleased with how he played the other day. So he was pretty adamant that he was going to play better. He watched the film a couple times. He wanted to figure out things that he could do better, ways he could approach the game better. And those are the little things that goes to show you why he's going to be a great player, not only here but in his future, because he's so vested in it, so vested in winning and becoming the best. And so I wasn't surprised that he played a more efficient game, that he was better defensively, and that he was still his aggressive self on the offensive end when he needed to be.
How contagious can that be, just his other teammates seeing him do the work like that?
I mean, I think anytime you're a guy like him with the accolades that he's had, and he's looked to as a leader for us. And so guys want to kind of follow him and do what he does to see if they can get to the same level. So it's certainly a true asset for us to have him in our program with the type of work ethic that he has every day. He's usually one of the last guys to leave the gym every day because he gets extra shots up. And on a day like Thursday, after playing his first college basketball game and being in the gym at 6:30 in the morning, it shows you why he's going to be a really, really great player.
Thank you, Mike.
Our next question comes from Marshall Levinson from Pokes Report. Go ahead, Marshall.
Yeah, Coach, can you kind of talk about what Gallagher-Iba felt like tonight and as far as the energy? I mean, your guys looks like they're creating some of their own energy, especially with plays like MA's dunk, but compared to last year with packed gyms, kind of what was your expectation and what was your reaction?
Honestly, I don't know what I expected. It's hard to tell. I know that our fans are really excited about where our program is. Our kids have worked hard and have done a good job preparing for the season. I'm excited for what our staff has done and kind of revitalizing the energy here. But it's really hard on our fans. I feel bad that more of them can't come out and support these guys. I wish we can get more of them in. It's just, we're dealing with this pandemic still. And hopefully we'll get it past maybe before the end of the season. Some of this stuff will change. But I thought the crowd that was there was very energetic. I thought they brought great life to us. I thought our guys felt that energy from them and was very appreciative of that fan support. And I look forward to our guys continuing to play well here in Gallagher-Iba because I still believe it's absolutely the best venue in the country.
Have you had to have any discussions with them to create their own energy or kind of playing in not an empty gym, but pretty much almost an empty gym?
We haven't talked much about that, to be honest. I mean, it's a fact of life right now for us. We got to deal with different circumstances everywhere we go. I think in Marquette, they're not allowed to have any fans. So we'll deal with that when we get there. But for the time being, our job is to play as hard as we can, as long as we can, because we're appreciative of the opportunity that we have to actually play the game. And so if we can't play hard, understanding everything else that's going on, shame on us. So I'm proud of our guys the way they're approaching this thing right now.
Thanks, Coach.
Our next question comes from Sam Hutchins from the O'Colly. Go ahead, Sam.
Hey, Coach, I was just going to ask you something. Normally you're a pretty routine-oriented guy when you walk in the arena, always like knuckle bumping all the people on press row and, saying what's up and giving some love. But I'm curious, did everything just feel, how different did it feel, the adjustment with the student section pulled back and, Gallagher just looking different. What did it feel like walking in here today?
Yeah, it's definitely different. I've been in here for some really cool environments, and I appreciate all of our fans that come to every game. I certainly try to show appreciation for the people who work, at the scores table, the officials, and try to show respect to the other coaches. Those are things that are certainly not advisable this season. So just dealing with it as it is. It's an unfortunate deal because I don't ever want people to think that it's not something that I do appreciate. I'm very thankful for however many people we had. I don't even know what the number is, and all the people that are still doing everything they can to work. People got to show up here in masks and shields, and so those people deserve a lot of credit for helping us pull these things off. And so if I can right now, just take a moment to say thank you to all the people that are using their time right now in the middle of a pandemic to come here and help us continue to have a basketball season and give our kids an opportunity to compete in the game that they love.
And I'm not sure if you even allowed yourself to imagine kind of the moment, but, with the season kind of in flux, but when you walked in, what do you think of just the noise and energy level in this crowd? Was it more than you expected, or what do you think of it?
Again, Sam, I don't know if I had any expectations. I really had no idea where this thing would go. I know that I've heard from some people who are frustrated, right? They've been waiting for our program to be back relevant and have a player, like Cade who can give them a reason to be excited about being in Gallagher and to have the other young guys and Rondell and Matthew and Donovan and Ice in his third year that want to be here so badly. And, I feel for them because I wish they could all come, but at the same time, this will pass. Our program will continue to get better. Other than Cade, we expect many of those other guys to be back here for many more years. And this program is going to continue to build in a way that for several years to come, they're going to be excited to come to Gallagher and watch us play.
Thanks, Coach.
Our next question is going to come from Marshall Scott from Pistols Firing. Go ahead, Marshall.
Yeah, Mike, you mentioned earlier having to play against a zone again. Do you anticipate that that's going to kind of be a regular thing for you guys with the talent you have? You seem to have a little more success today, especially finding the short corner. Do you anticipate that being a regular thing against you guys?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. I've kind of pondered that a lot myself. And in some ways, I try to think to myself, how would I play us? I'm not sure I would play us a zone. But obviously, we've seen it in 2 straight games, and so we got to continue to fine-tune our zone offense. But I feel confident that we have pretty good shooters, as Rondell and Farron showed tonight, that can give us some very good options if we do see a lot more.
And Ice hit another 3 tonight. I think he's 50% on the year. We've talked about this a lot, but just how much can that do for his game that people have to guard him out on the perimeter?
Yes, it's a part of our development strategy with him. Many people don't remember, but after his freshman year, that was going to be the concentration for him, was to fine-tune his shot. And then we sent him off to USA Basketball because that opportunity was probably more important for him individually than it was for what our program could do. And so this offseason, even though it was different, he was here, right? And so we got a chance to really fine-tune that thing. And he's shooting with confidence. One thing I know about Ice is he's not going to take a ton of threes. He's not really going to take any bad threes. He's not going to force any. So I'm confident that he's going to make good decisions when he's open and take the ones that he knows he's in rhythm. And I got confidence that he's going to make a pretty good majority of them.
And last thing is there a timetable on when you'll have Montreal available?
Not right now. As soon as I have more information, I'll let you know.
Thanks.
Our next question comes from Benjamin Hutchins from the O'Colly. Go ahead, Benjamin.
Hey, Coach, I almost kind of question the humanity of a sports fan who doesn't get excited for a big and one. And you kind of got into it with Jacob a little bit. How big were those 2 and ones Rondell got at the end of the first half when Cade was on the bench with foul trouble?
Very huge. Again, Rondell was, he was the MVP of the game for us in many ways because while we were kind of waiting there and it was a 6-9-5 game, right, the margin, he really lifted us up, helped us get some stops, helped us get some timely baskets around the rim, which was something we really needed against that zone to kind of loosen them up. So those are huge plays. And, again, they went a long way to him continue to feel confident in the second half when he got his open threes.
Certainly. Thanks very much, Coach.
Our next question is going to come from Ryan Breeden from the O'Colly. Go ahead, Ryan.
Yeah, Coach, you mentioned some of the differences in facing the zone the second time around as compared to the first game. You guys were very improved shooting-wise, especially from behind the arc as well as from the free throw line, which from free throw line on Wednesday, you guys went 14 for 27. Tonight, you guys went 21 for 27. What do you think were some of the reasons behind the improvements from not only the free throw line but also from behind the arc?
Practice. Yeah, I'm sure the first game there was a lot of jitters, right? We on the road sometimes you don't shoot as well as you do at home. But I got confidence in these kids, and what I tell them is the moment that they don't shoot open shots, then they don't have as much value, and we can't play them as much. And so I need them to work hard enough so that they can feel confident that they're going to make the shots when they're open that they're supposed to shoot. So guys like Farron, I don't worry. He's going to have a game where he goes 1 for 8. It's okay. He's going to have a game where he goes 7 for 8. And we'll take both of them because we know his value for us in the long run is going to be critical. I remember having these conversations about Thomas Zagra. People question whether we should be playing him. You've got incredible value where you can make shots from 3-point range. Him, Rondell, Keelan will get it going at some point here. Obviously, Kade has showed the ability that he can make threes. And so, again, to Marshall's question about whether teams will zone us, I like my chances as we go forward and these guys get more comfortable with each other.
And you guys also were able to cut down on the turnovers today. You had 19, I would say, on Wednesday, and you were able to cut that number pretty much in half to 10. Is that something that you guys put a big emphasis on in practice from Wednesday to now?
Absolutely. We talked about running better offense, being stronger with the ball. We thought that Texas Southern was a better defensive team than the team we played on Wednesday. And so it was a big emphasis in valuing the basketball and getting ourselves an opportunity to get good shots. Because, again, that really is what kept the margin so close the other night. If we don't turn the ball over as much on Wednesday, it's a much different game. And obviously we made our free throws when we got to the line much better than we did on Wednesday as well.
Thanks, Coach.
And our final question is going to come from Joseph Fazio from the Oak-Holly. Go ahead, Joseph.
Coach, at the beginning you talked about how giving up, I think it was 16 or 18 offensive rebounds really hurt your team's defense. But you guys also gave up 42 points in the paint. Is there something that you can attribute to that, and would you think you may need to practice more to, negate those numbers?
Part of it is we got to guard at the point of attack a little bit better. We get driven a little bit more than I'd like to right now. And to be perfectly honest, we don't have a great shot blocking rim protector until Caleb can get going more consistently. Tonight he played a whole lot better. He had 3 blocks, but he was in foul trouble. So when he didn't play as much, and that certainly hurt our interior defensive presence. And so what we got to do is when he's not playing, because even though Bernie is a good option for us, he's not a shot blocker either. He's much more of a positional defender. We just got to be more committed to taking charges and being in better position on the help side when teams want to drive us and try to get to the basket. But no question, that's something that we got to address pretty soon.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, so that'll do it for questions. But, Coach, before we let you go, is there anything maybe that we missed or anything that you specifically wanted to address while we've got everybody here?
No, again, I just want to I'm proud of these kids. They continue to do what we asked them to do. They're making a lot of sacrifices for us to be able to play. I'm looking forward to getting back to work tomorrow and get ready for our first major test on the road on Tuesday against Marquette.